You need to relax. Why are you so tensed? He asked, feeling concerned. It was 8 p.m. currently, and when his parents had visited, he made sure that they said no such thing that would hurt his wife. But his wife looked tense. She didn't say it, but he understood it. She was constantly pacing around the room ever since she has come to the room. She hasn't eaten yet, and neither has he. He understood something was bothering her. He was sitting on the bed as he finally decided to get up, as he held her by her shoulders, standing in front of her, making her stop. Spit it out. What's bothering you? He asked, frowning slightly as she hesitated. As she said, it's nothing. It's definitely something, and you're gonna tell me. Wine was hesitating, but she knew she had to ask for that one thing which she has been wanting from the very beginning of their marriage, and she calmed herself by thinking that it's her right. Taehyung watched her silently, but before he could speak, he stopped when he heard her next words. I want you to share the bed with me. Before he could speak again, she started speaking. I want my answers today. Why don't you share the bed with me? Do you not like me? I'm your wife, or you think I can't satisfy? She was already tearing up, her eyes turning glossy, but her words pierced his heart. Before she could say something he never wanted to hear, he put his hand on her lips, preventing her from saying anything as a lump formed in his throat. As she held his hand, removing it as a tear rolled down her cheek. I want my answers today. His silence was making her go impatient as she held his hand hopefully, crying as she shook his hand impatiently, wanting her answers. Why are you silent? I'm asking you something. Before she could continue, his lips crashed on hers, suddenly making her whimper. His tongue pushed in, demanding for entrance. As she opened up her lips, allowing him in, her tears still rolled down her cheeks, now stained his cheeks as he held her neck, tilting his head, deepening the kiss as she whimpered, saying, I answer. His tongue tangled hers, making her unable to talk as his feet tangled with hers, both of them falling on the bed. She was beneath him as he was right on top of her, kissing her senselessly, his other hand holding her waist very hard, his thumb caressing it, making her feel butterflies in her stomach. This was the most intense kiss they have ever shared, and she was now running out of breath as he pulled away, watching her beneath him. Taehyung POV. The moment I pulled away, I looked at her, breathing heavily. Her eyes were closed, her lips were parted as she breathed heavily, her chest moving up and down. Her heavenly cheeks were flushed red, the tears still staining them, but she was no longer crying. Her long lashes resting, she's divine, my wife. From the very first moment I laid my eyes on her, I fell in love. To me, she is a goddess, my goddess. I guess I can't hide the truth anymore, even if she ends up hating me. And POV, you wanted answers, I'll give you your answers. He gently wiped her tears away as she finally fluttered opened her glossy eyes. YNPOV, my heart started beating faster as those words left his lips. I hope the answer is not because he has someone else in his life. I gulped, listening intently as he started speaking. And POV, so when we freshly got married 3 years ago on our wedding night, on their wedding night, Taehyung has walked in stumbling on his steps, but he didn't have alcohol after having put his newly wedded wife into their shared bedroom now because she said she was tired and her feet were aching, and after that he had walked down to bid goodbye to a few. Guest, and soon he was back in the room. He shut the door behind and he was feeling hot. He was still in his senses, but something felt weird in his body. He hasn't taken even a drop of alcohol. So what's this sensation now? He's unable to figure it out. He kicked off his shoes as his gaze landed on his newly wedded sweet wife, and the moment he had laid his eyes on her and he fell in love with her. A small smile adorned his lips. Taehyung POV, my steps are shaky, my breath is heavy. I don't get it. She's asleep. My sweet little wife is asleep. I just love her. And boom, I landed on the bed. I'm feeling heated up. The sensations I'm feeling are maddening. And POV, Taeyong tried to control his shaky breath as he put his hand on his wife's. Shoulder, but she didn't move. Maybe she was deeply asleep. He put his hand off her as he loosened his tie, throwing it off. He understood he was feeling needy, but why? He didn't have any alcohol and nothing like that has happened. He felt the urge to touch his wife. He was slowly losing his sense of control on his body. But he shook his head, trying to maintain his senses. He'll not touch his wife. He doesn't have her permission, but the urge was going stronger and his pants were now feeling tight. No, this isn't good. He stood up, stumbling on his steps, but he ended up falling beside his wife. Again, he suddenly grabbed her waist. and leaned in, kissing her. He had kissed her back at the aisle too. His hands gripped her waist. He was losing control and was doing what his body wanted. But his wife, she wasn't moving. He suddenly pulled away from the kiss. He was going insane, not being able to understand anything, but he then again refused to do this. She was his goddamn wife and he doesn't have her permission. It's inappropriate. He stood up, stumbling to the bathroom, his pants growing more tight as he opened the door of the bathroom hastily as he pushed himself in, giving his sleeping sweet wife a last hazy glance. He closed the door, falling on the floor. He spent the rest of the night in the bathroom struggling as the shower was continuously running, cold water brushing his body. He can't do that to his wife. He very well remembered the words she had said earlier after their marriage at the aisle. She had whispered those words only audible to him. She had said, "I'm sorry, I know you're my husband now, but I'm not ready to be physical yet." And for him, she matters more than anything else, even if it meant keeping his distance while sleeping on the same bed. Next morning, he was walking down the stairs in a fresh pair of comfy clothes. His wife is still sleeping. He still wasn't able to figure out what had spiked him last night like that. His parents were at his home last night and this afternoon they leave. He saw them sitting on the couch discussing something. He was about to call for mother as he walked down the stairs, but stopped when he heard the next words that left his mother's mouth. He stood frozen on the stairs. I heard her saying she wasn't ready to get physical yet with my son. Who says such an absurd thing like that to her husband? So last night, when after putting her to room he came down, I gave him a glass of water mixed with Viagra pills and had the maid to put her to unconsciousness by putting that chloroform cloth on her mouth. Guess my son enjoyed last night and they're asleep. "You did what? To my wife?" His mother stiffened, turning her head back to the stairs, and so did his dad. She gulped, trying to make an excuse. "Oh, honey, you woke?" His eyes told her everything she needed to know to shut up as she said, "I did it for your own good." "My good? For God's sake, it's my marriage, that's my wife, and even if it sounds absurd to you, I'll do what my wife says." And then the whole thing turned into a heated and huge argument, and he suddenly realized his wife hasn't woken up yet. His eyes widened as he ran back to their shared bedroom. He realized she hasn't moved even a bit, he immediately put her head on his lap, trying to wake her up by tapping her face and sprinkling water on her face. Nothing worked. He called for the doctor. After the checkup was complete, the doctor told him she had been exposed to excessive chloroform, which is harmful. For her health and has left her unconscious. From that day on, he has promised himself to maintain his distance and not share a bed with her. He was shaken to the core. He never wanted to harm his sweet little wife, even though he wasn't at fault. He felt guilty. His face was snuggled in the crook of her neck. He was ashamed to meet her eyes. He was still on top of her as she murmured softly, "It wasn't your fault, and if you think it was, I forgive you. And now, can we share the bed like a husband and wife?" "You are too nice for your own good," he murmured into the silence as he pulled away, watching her hopeful eyes. "Oh, she really did want this, only this," as he nodded, and finally a happy smile broke through her lips, a smile he has seen in years for the first time. She said something which made him go dumbfounded. "Ah, I'm so nervous. We are sharing a bed." He blinked, watching her fuss over it nervously with flushed cheeks as he said, "Hey, come on, you haven't eaten dinner yet." At midnight, she was happily snuggling in his chest and not falling asleep, making him chuckle as he caressed her head gently. Normally she'd be asleep by 10 p.m., but today she is all giddy and happy, passing into his arms, getting her head gently caressed by him as his other hand rested on her waist. She looked like she wasn't able to control her happiness and was acting like a little kitten having happiness attacks. Sometimes she did giggle by herself, sticking very close to him, and she's fussing and moving endlessly, all happy, and he wasn't irritated, he was at peace, finally watching her all happy in his arms. After years, he held onto her waist, pulling her more closer as she looked up to him with flushed cheeks, making his breath hitch. As he chuckled, winking at her, as her cheeks flushed more, as she immediately hid her face in his chest, giggling, making him go all soft as he muttered into her ears, kissing her head softly, holding her tight and close to him so she wouldn't disappear. His soft voice sounded soothing. "My sweet little wife, all mine." A happy ending. Authored with love by Danny Pie. Thank you so much for reading till the end. Your love and support means everything to me. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and tap a like. It keeps me motivated to bring you more. Can't wait to share the next journey with you all. Until then, stay safe and keep believing in love.